What's going on, comic fans? Welcome to Pages, Panels, and Pictures, the show that talks all things comics, movies, and beyond. Today, we have another episode of Roachboy's Comic Corner, where I, Roachboy Red, deliver the comic origins and histories of various comic book characters, mostly to prepare the MCU fans for what's to come, and for that matter, what's already begun. Today's episode is all about John F. Walker, the U.S. agent. Johnny Walker is a pretty complicated character, to say the least. He was an Army veteran, but never really felt like a hero like his brother was. He ends up joining a wrestling league called the Universal Class Wrestling Federation after receiving physical enhancements at the hands of the Power Broker, similar to Steve Rogers' Super Soldier Serum. After spending some time in the UCWF, John's agent actually convinces him that his skills would be better put to use as a hero. He becomes the Super Patriot, but falsely ends up preaching his belief in America's true ideals, alongside 3 others he recruited while wrestling, his Bold Urban Commandos, or Bucks, which included a future battle star, Lamar Hoskins. Walker's commandos then began staging attacks that Johnny himself could thwart, in order to look like his beliefs were in fact right. After a confrontation with the real Captain America, though, Walker was faced with a real threat in the form of a terrorist named Warhead, who was attempting to detonate a nuclear bomb in Washington, D.C. Later on, due to a plot by the Red Skull, Steve Rogers is forced to abandon the mantle of Captain America, actually turning the role over to Johnny Walker. Walker becomes the new Captain America, even attempting to emulate Steve Rogers' views and ideals. His teammate Lamar serves as Walker's Bucky, with the 2 other Bucks taking up the names Left Winger and Right Winger. But, inevitably, after Left and Right Winger parted ways with John, they maliciously revealed his identity publicly, leading to the murder of his parents by a group known as the Watchdogs, who Walker had stopped in a previous altercation. The Watchdogs were an extreme right-wing terrorist group, later revealed to be funded by the Red Skull himself, looking to impose their beliefs on others through terroristic attacks, violence, and intimidation. So these Watchdogs abduct Walker's parents, force Walker to turn himself in, which he did, and attempted killing him, before a fracas ensues, which his parents are gunned down in the crossfire. After seeing this, though, John goes absolutely primal and slaughters every member of the group in the building. Afterwards, he captures and tortures Left and Right Winger, inevitably leaving them in comas. Fueled by some manipulation via the Red Skull, Steve Rogers, acting as the captain at the time, goes to confront Walker, where the unhinged Captain America was stopped by Steve. After all was said and done, Walker was deemed unworthy of carrying the title of Captain America any longer. Walker ends up faking his death with the help of the CSA, the Commission of Superhuman Activities, in order to allow him to re-emerge as a new hero, the U.S. agent. He adorned a new costume resembling the original Captain America, even with a vibranium disc as a shield. He continued working under the CSA, where he took on the likes of the Ironmonger, Obadiah Stane, and joined the West Coast Avengers. After rescuing his former partner, Lamar, now going by Battlestar, from the Power Broker, he learns that his memories were altered in order to forget that his parents were killed. After he leaves both the West Coast Avengers and the CSA, the Scarlet Witch persuades Johnny to join up with the newly formed Force Works, founded by Tony Stark. Suiting up in a new costume complete with an energy shield, which in my opinion were terrible but seemingly everywhere during the 90s, U.S. Agent remained a member of the team through most of their time together, but ultimately cuts ties after becoming at odds with team members Hawkeye and War Machine. During his brief time with the team called the Jury, Walker was nearly beaten to death by a villain known as Protocide, a man who was used to test prototype versions of the Super Soldier Serum, where Walker actually was required to receive an enhancing exoskeleton due to the severity of his injuries. During a battle with the leader of the Thunderbolts at the time, Nuke, John's arm and leg were severed, requiring him to receive prosthetics. He actually ended up refusing better technology because he didn't want to be a cyborg like Nuke. But after retiring as U.S. agent, Walker ends up the warden of the supervillain prison known as the Raft. While on a mission to transport the Dark Avengers back to the Raft, they're sent to an alternate dimension. While here, Walker's briefly bonded to this universe's version of the Venom symbiote, which actually ends up restoring his lost limbs. While leading the Dark Avengers, Walker learns that AIM is behind the warping of reality while attempting to discover new technologies. AIM is thwarted by Walker's team, and afterwards, he's influenced to let the team remain at large. Sometime later, after he rejoins the U.S. Army, He's given the mission by the U.S. Senate to reclaim Captain America's shield from Sam Wilson, who was Cap at the time, but was deemed unworthy of the title by the public. Even though he disagreed with Sam's personal beliefs, Walker refused to confront him as Steve had chosen Sam himself. However, Steve Rogers enters and tells Walker that the pressure of the job has gotten to Sam and that he's getting out of control. After personally being asked by Captain America, John Walker goes to confront Wilson, ultimately being defeated by the new Captain America. We'd later find out that Steve's history had been altered to make him a Hydra sleeper agent and was influencing the entire conflict, but that is a story for another day. U.S. Agent has virtually the same power set as Steve Rogers. He has enhanced strength, stamina, agility, reflexes, and durability. He's a veteran soldier and tactician, and he was even personally trained by Anthony Masters, the Taskmaster. But there you have it, guys. The controversial story of Johnny Walker, the U.S. Agent. I feel like the MCU had some good ideas in writing for the character, and Wyatt Russell's acting was overall good in The Falcon and Winter Soldier, but without including his entire history, he kind of just came off as a whiny government dog, and that ended up feeling like a shallow representation of his character. Here's hoping in upcoming projects he gets a better attitude and a better fitting helmet. But hey, stay tuned for next week's episode, all about Moon Knight. If you enjoyed yourself, give us a like, subscribe, and hit the bell to get notified when we drop another episode. You can follow me on IG at Roach the Boy Wonder. This has been Pages, Panels, and Pictures. I have been your host, Roachboy Red, and remember, keep reading comics.